think life would have been if you didn't go to the loft at audition? Where do you think your life would have been at? Would you still been
I
playing?
would have been famous no matter what.
Today on Artists on the Record, we have the legendary Mr. Ace Frehley of Kiss. He's in the hot seat. His new album is out, 10,000 Volts. You could check that out. Links are down below in our description. Now, let's get a chance to meet Mr. Ace Frehley one-on-one as he goes on record with ADIKA. It all starts now. Don't touch that dial.
If it didn't make it with Kiss, I would have made it with somebody else.
But you wouldn't have given up music. You would have just stuck with music for sure.
I had it. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I had the personality. I had the looks. I could play. And there was no stopping me. So
That was it, huh?
that's not even an issue in my mind. I kind of knew when I was about 16, I was going to be a rock star, and I would tell everybody, and they'd think I was crazy. But
How about your parents? What would they say?
They didn't believe me, but you know, when they showed up at Madison Square Garden, the night we did three nights over a weekend, they kind of remembered, and they said, "Yeah, you pulled it off."
You wanted the best, and you got him. The hottest man in the land, Kiss.
Now let me ask you: for you, being from the Bronx, where you grew up from, where you came from, in the high like 70, the 70s, 77, that was your Beatlemania too. It was Kiss mania. What was it? What was going on through your head? I'm here at the Garden. I mean, come on.
I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. People didn't even know what we looked like without the makeup. I remember going to some bar, and there was this broad. She had to be a 9.5. And I walked up to her, and I was hitting on her, and she was a little receptive. And I bought her a drink, and then we're talking. And I figure I cinched the deal if I told her who I was. I go, "By the way, I'm Ace Frehley from Kiss." She goes, "Get the out of here." I had to pull out all my ID and everything. Finally, I pulled out some cards with me on the cover, and finally she believed me. I had a 928 Porsche outside, black on black. Finally, she believed me.
So you dropped your own name because she had no idea.
Crazy.
That is a funny story, man.
Her name was Adrian.
Adrian, huh?
She's an artist. I don't know what happened to her. She was so hot.
I bet you Adrian's telling that story. You wouldn't believe it. It's like a joke. A guy walks into a bar, says he's Ace Frehley from Kiss. I go home with him. Boom, boom. It sounds like a crazy joke. What a fantastic story, man. Hey, you know what? I pulled some questions for some of the fans that watch my show on a community board, and there's so many crazy questions, but one struck out, and there was a really good question here that
This one's from Ronnie Parker, 4311. I'm a longtime devoted Ace Frehley fan. Please ask Ace what guitar did he take to the Kiss audition?
I'll show you a copy of it. This is the guitar I auditioned with Kiss.
Oh, wow.
Except it's a copy. It's a reverse Firebird single pickup with banjo tuning pegs. Not many of these around. But the Gibson Custom Shop one, I told them I used to have one of these. They made me another one exactly the way it was.
So that's exactly what it was. What you walked in, that's
It's
what it looked
also
like.
the same guitar that Clapton used on the Farewell Cream tour.
That's
And
right.
I'll never forget, because I saw a photograph of him playing it, right? And he has a big hand.
Yeah.
Look what happens when you put your hand here. All you see is a volume and control. You don't see a pickup or a bridge. Because it was just mini humbucker and single tailpiece bridge. Amazing guitar. The only thing I don't like about it is the neck is too fat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but
I have the original pickup that was in the guitar that I auditioned with Kiss. So I might put it in here. and I might have the neck made a little thinner, which is how I like my guitars to be. I have like 120 guitars, so yeah. Clapton used that guitar in Cream Farewell Tour. He used it at the Garden. I don't know if he used it every night.
Killer. That's killer. You let me. So when you went on that audition that changed your life, basically, did you jam on covers or you jammed on originals or just a loose jam with them?
It's exactly what happened. They played Deuce, and they said, listen to this song. It's in the key of A, but you got to tune down a half step, because they always tune down a half step. So I tuned down a half step, and they said, when it comes to the solo section, we'll nod and just go. So they played a elongated version of the solo, and I just played every riff I knew. You know,
And that's it.
that was it. After I jammed I think we may have done one or two other songs around, but they told me, we'll call you back within 2 weeks and let you know. But Paul admitted to me later, several years later, he said, we knew that day you were the guy. It's just that we had other people that we already told them and had them booked to come in and audition. You never know who's going to show up. So, but he said pretty much we knew you were the guy.
Wow. But there was no name for the band, just a couple of guys jamming from their old name that they had.
I'll never forget the day we named the band. I was going, why don't we call the group? And they said, that's a little extreme. So out of the blue, Paul goes, what about Kiss? And we all looked at each other and we go, that might be a good name. And then I designed the logo.
So the logo came from you. I always get the mixed stories from everybody on the internet and all these people talking about it. So you actually came up with the lightning bolt S's, right?
Yeah, I had a button of the original version of the logo. I mean, Paul even admitted that I designed the logo. And then later on, he lied and said he designed it. But what happened was I drew it with a felt tip pen.
Yeah.
And it was pretty, the lines were pretty straight, and the design was appealing. But, he was a trained artist because he went to music and art. So, he just drew the lines a little straighter with a Rapidograph pen and gave it to the record company. And that's the logo.
That was the logo.
I designed it. He refined it.
I mean, man, when you think about how simple it all is and how iconic it is, I mean,
I designed that logo like in an afternoon, and it's like one of the most recognizable logos in the world.
That with the Rolling Stones mouth. Yes. The tongue. Those two. You think of rock and roll things like that.
Like, that's, I've done so many crazy things in my life that have touched millions of people. I just kind of like go with the flow. I try not to think about it, because then
yeah.
I mean, I'm not on any ego trip, It feels like it's been a movie, and it still feels like it's a movie. It's almost going to jump out of the, I'm going to go through a door and,
Well, are they trying to make
a director go, okay, you're done.
Is there a biopic now going to be made about your career with Kiss coming out?
We need to get a good screenwriter. And once we get a script, I would like to approach Scorsese, simply because he grew up in the Bronx and he would get it. But there's a lot of great directors out there. Who would I like to play me in my 20s? The kid who plays the Flash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he would, if he had my hairdo, because I used to have, those kind of thin eyes, and some people used to think I was Oriental. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from, but once I got a facelift, they did an eye lift, and my eyes are more open now.
So how's the world look now that they're more open? Does it look better?
Huh?
Does the world look better now they're more open or what?
They're bigger.
You know?
I-
But do you see everything better? Do you like what you see in the world?
like everything.
You know?
You could see all our episodes unedited right here on YouTube. Become a member today. Join the club. In the meantime, that is Ace Frehley. 10,000 Volts is out now. Links are in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, and click on the box here on your screen for our next episode. And post your comments down below. Thanks for watching. Who loves you, baby? We do. We'll see you all later.